Hi, welcome and welcome back to the DMV operator. So I'm going to be taking you into Bowie, Maryland. That's Bowie, Maryland. Going to go look at this one level rambler. Really interesting history to this property. So I'm going to be giving you a lot of information just for this place. So if you're in the DMV, you're looking to buy, maybe you might find it attractive, maybe you won't. But if you're not in the DMV, this is just good insight for yourself. I do these type of property analysis all over. That is basically just what I do, as opposed to just doing property inspections. So my name is Anthony Okun. I own a property inspection company in the DMV, Shade Property Inspections. So if you are in the DMV looking for a place to buy, not sure, or you like this type of service that I'm about to show you in this video, then the link is in the description where you can go ahead and get that started. So I'm gonna go in and get started with this video or this listing. So we got this property in Bowie, Maryland. Now Bowie is a nice suburb in PG, tends to be a little bit more affluent. I like it a lot. There's a huge Nigerian population, so I gotta know where my Nigerian peoples are at. So anyways, gonna be looking at this house. I'm just gonna click on the pictures just to blow it up a little bit. And man, I feel like I made this larger before. How did I make this larger before? It's okay. So this is the front of the house. And when I'm pulling up to a house, there's a whole bunch of stuff that I'm looking at. So I'll try to give some commentary as I'm going through it. Yeah, so one level rambler. Let's go through the pictures. I could just tell from the jump, and I'm gonna get into, maybe I should just, let me give you some information on this house actually, so you understand what we're dealing with. So this is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, about 2,200 square feet. Built in 1971, so keep that in mind. About a 1/3 acre lot. And let's read the description. This process is now under auction terms. Nestled on a spacious corner lot in a quiet Bowie neighborhood, this charming one-level rambler is set back from the road with a long driveway, offering excellent privacy. The home features 4 bedrooms and 1.5 bath with a comfortable, well-designed layout. Okay. Enjoy a peaceful setting with plenty. Okay, this is just fluff right there. All just minutes from Bowie Town Center. Okay. So when I look at these descriptions, they try to dress it up always. Like they're trying to sell the property, so it makes sense. I'm looking at the facts and I'm looking at data that's actually useful for me. So I already got its auction. So when I see auction, not always, but usually it's meaning work needs to be done. It's not turnkey. It's not. I also look, like, I try to pay attention to what they're not saying in the listing. So, and you can do this as well. Where is it saying like ready to go, upgraded this, that? Like, so that's what I'm trying to pay attention to. 90 days on Zillow, so it's been 3 months. So this property has been sitting and is under foreclosure. So yeah, people don't want it. I mean, it is a tough market right now. Prices are high, but this has been sitting for a while. Let me keep going down. Got a gas, so you got gas service in here. Natural gas. I prefer natural gas when it comes to heating. It's just more efficient, usually cheaper. No basement. Corner lot. So corner lot is always nice. You have more room to do stuff. And it's looks like a regular residential neighborhood, so you don't have to worry about too much traffic. Or I don't see how it can be like a lot of traffic. What else am I looking at? Real estate owned. Yep. Okay. 1971. I always try to keep in mind the year. So, okay, financial listings, assessed tax value, date on market, February. Okay, we got all of that. Price changes. I like to pay attention to this stuff. Sold in 2025, pretty much January 1st, before the year is over. And then listed for sale like 2 months later, or a month later, roughly. So that tells a story right there. And then before that, it was sold 2002. Get all of that. Schools, I don't pay attention. This is all for the realtor to make the pitch on why you should buy this house, but I don't focus on that. All right, so we got the information. Let's click on the picture, see how it looks like. So the first thing, it's 1971 is when it was built, and right now it's bank owned, so it's in foreclosure. So that lets me know the original owner, or maybe they transferred hands. I can't remember. Hold on, let me go back down. So you had this, okay, sold in 2002. So this person had it until 2005. Okay, so it went into foreclosure 2005. So this person couldn't pay for whatever reason. So if someone can't pay the mortgage, then they're definitely not going to be doing updates for the most part. Ah, crap. What did I just do? Let me go back where it is. I just lost my house. There we go. Alright, so let's get into it. So I'm looking at the house, 1971. The person couldn't pay their mortgage, went on foreclosure. The bank owns it, so most likely they didn't do any updates. And I got a Google Maps that I'll show as well as I can get in closer. But right now I'm just looking at the roof. That's the main thing that when you're coming up to a house, that's the first thing you see. How does the roof look like? Now, I can just tell by here, it looks like builder grade asphalt shingles. Builder grade is just a cheap one. It just looks like a flat layer of shingles. I want to see architectural shingles. Architectural shingles have better wear resistance, wind resistance. It costs a little bit more, but it's just a higher quality. And those look more thicker. So already I know, okay, this is going to be cheap. So I'm kind of thinking in my head, 1971, this doesn't look like the original roof for sure. Be impossible. How can you have a 1971 roof on a house and it's like 2026? So I'm thinking probably this roof is around 20 years old, 15 to, I'll probably say like 20 years old just by these pictures. And I'm kind of just looking at the yard, looking at the house, the driveway, whatever. Let me click on one so it can have its own. Okay, next picture, okay. So pictures can be deceptive, and I've learned this just from experience. These pictures can look really nice, but when you get into the property, it looks completely different, or you feel like you've been catfished a bit. So I'm just looking at it. Sure, the paint looks straight and all that. It might be the lighting. The people that stage these properties are really good at what they do. So they try to make the property, they're trying to get you to the house, and then hopefully there's enough charm where it makes you stay and want to buy. Alright, so I'm just looking around. I see this right here. This is like, so the entryway is right here, and then this little platform, and then part of this paneling is falling off. Looking at the transitions, there's a whole bunch of stuff I'm looking at, but I'm just kind of going by it. It's staged nicely though. Now, paint job, I don't like. Personal preference, I don't like the green. Those type of colors make it seem dated. And when I'm just looking at how the drywall is, when I see curves, this is usually an older style. So I can see this being in the 70s, the 60s or whatever, when it's curved like that. So it makes me think, okay, the only thing they most likely did is just paint stuff, but not really upgrade, not really change the structure. Alright, so, I mean, the staging looks really good. I'll give it that. I see a sign right here, so if you've been into enough properties, especially in Baltimore, you know that this sign means winterized. And basically what winterized means is they just suck up all the water in the house so that there's no water, so that it frees the pipes. And then they put in like antifreeze in like the toilets and the P-trap so that the sewer gases don't come up and like it's just the whole point is to prevent leaks. So maybe there was a leak and they had to winterize it, or they're trying to prevent it. But regardless, anytime I see that blue tape with a note, yeah, this is a dishwasher. It means it's been winterized. So that means utilities might be off, at least the water, and it's just a hassle. You got to make sure that's on before an inspection. Okay, looking at this next. See, I don't like the curve. It's like a dead giveaway that they just slapped some paint on it. But they do have vents. So they had to do some work upgrades. So at least you know you got some. If I didn't see any vents at all, then I know they're using radiators, and they don't have any cooling. So it's not forced air. It's just gonna be heat. But so I want to see. As long as I see this, then I know there's a system inside. I'm also looking at just the flooring, and I don't know. It's just like tape. I don't know what there was going on here. Did tape all around? Okay. I'm looking at the carpet. I see a transition in the carpet right here. You can kind of see it as well. Interesting. Okay. Continuing on. Hey, it's a good stager. That's the only thing I can really say. This looks like access for the bathroom. Piping. Okay. This one. Okay, looking at the kitchen. I like to pay attention to just the appliances. Do they all match, or is it like mismatched? So would this stove be with the property, or is it just for the staging? Would it be taken out? I'm looking at this kitchen. My own personal preference, it should be gutted. The white cabinets are old. This is just old style. The fridge don't look, I mean, you know, it's not the best looking one. I don't see a microwave. So what is this wiring? I don't know where this wiring is going to, but it seemed like some aftermarket upgrades that they did. But when the wiring, like, okay, so when I see stuff like this, it doesn't look professional. So it makes me think, okay, is it handyman wiring? Is it like they try to do something real? They had to get something in there, and then they just didn't want to go through the hassle of pulling permits and stuff like that. So, you know, that's what I noticed. There goes that tape, winterize. Okay. The flooring. I'm trying to see as much as I can in these pictures. And this is what I do. You're looking at the pictures, you're probably like, oh, this is a nice house, I want to buy it. Maybe not this house, but just in general. I'm looking at it as, okay, what they hiding, what seems to need some work later on. I'm looking at the craftsmanship of stuff, look at the color, does it look professional? Like when I see a green and then a white, this type of color combination, a professional is not gonna do something like this for the most part. Because they want their stuff to look good, it's gonna be some consistency. So when I see stuff like this is someone that's just, okay, hey, I need you to paint something, the wall looks ugly. Okay, just painted something. Or maybe the homeowner at the time, like, okay, I want something nicer than white. But these transitions, they don't look nice. I guess this would have been a space for a microwave. Alright. Okay, we saw that before. Okay, it's like a patio back here. Yep, remember that entry platform? This is part of the paneling and fell off. I don't know what they're trying to do over here. I don't get this. I don't get this. And yeah, I don't get this. Okay. Okay, we've seen these shots. Sometimes they repeat pictures. Okay, I just don't like the rug, so you can tell the rug needs to be replaced. Just look at the wear, look how it's pulled. Need updates on that. So this is cosmetic. Now you got a sink over here, so it took me a while to kind of understand what's going on, but it looks like a salon sink. You see how you have the dip right here, so I'm assuming they had a business going on in here, because this is not the bathroom. It looks like this is the kitchen in here, so that's what it look like. See, looks like mounting. So I think that someone, like the owner, turned it into a salon. Now, they did some work where they cut out part of the wall and then they had to patch it back up. Oh, maybe that's for the sink that they did. See, this is unprofessional. Like, why would you keep it like this? So what's going on? So then he painted it. So I think it just leaves questions. Okay, basic room. Winterize. They're gonna have this all over. Anytime it's like a foreclosure, they're gonna winterize it because they don't want no leaking pipes. Leaking pipes causes more damage. So let's see more. Keep going. Yeah, I just don't like the way it looks. Like, this is outdated. See, winterize. Now, I don't know what happened here, but I guess you don't have the toilet spout. No, not the toilet spout. The tub spout. Like, I briefly looked at these pictures, but I didn't go that in depth. Man, yeah. So you could just work here. This is obvious, but it's a foreclosure. It's not supposed to be nice like that. So this person, over the years, they did some updates and they try to do different stuff, but and you're gonna see that as well. It just doesn't look that professional. Okay, so we got that. So what I like to do when it comes to houses is look at what permits have been done or have been pulled, and that's important. So for this house, these are the permits that they pulled. Let me see if I can make this bigger. I can't really zoom in, but they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Started in 2004. They did a addition, 27 by 21 feet addition. It was permitted, so it's good. So that went through. The next one, additional. It looks like part of this one. Oh, revised to change site plan to remove the walkway. So they changed something. And then here, electrical. So this is 2004. This is all the same thing. So this is all for the same upgrade. They added some lights. So 2 light fixtures, 29. Looks like a probably residential receptacles. 29 outlets, so that expired. Expired usually means it's closed out, so they got it done or something happened, but I'm just assuming that they took care of it. It's all part of this addition. What we got? Electrical. Okay, so this is 2005, and what they did is higher up. Okay, 200 amp panel. So they installed a 200 amp panel. So if the home is built in 1971, then the electrical panel is probably just, or it's going to be outdated. You can't, as far as the electrical needs that modern homes have now, you need more. So this looks like an upgrade. I don't know why it's expired. but I'm sure. So if I'm going to the property, I'll really take a look at that and make sure everything is good with that. It should say closed. When it says expired, it's usually saying like nothing else was done to it, but I'm just making mental notes. Then they added a carport, enclosed existing carport, 17 by 10 feet. That's closed. So they did that. Homeowner permit, electrical, one motor, lights. Okay. So that's their permit selection. So now, Google Maps, let's see what it's actually looking like. We'll get back to the permits. See the difference. Oh shoot, I don't want to do that. Why is there a tree here? So I'm looking at the yard. So it's good to look at the yard. It's not just about curb appeal, but it's also about, it gives you an indication of what type of maintenance the previous owner has been doing and how consistent they've been. Have they been taking care of the property? Not really. So possibly this tree was sucking up a lot of the water, the roots. See, now remember I mentioned the roofing. The roofing, you see how like it just looks flat? That's builder's grade. This is not architectural shingles. Architectural shingles, if you look at maybe around, you can see some houses from your view right now. They look thicker. They kind of like more 3D, if you know what I mean. Like it's just thicker layers. It doesn't look like this. And it just looks weird. Something seems like it's happening right here. Okay. It's a nice tree. I like to see the sloping of the house. So the house should be sitting up higher. And I want the grading in the yard just to slope away. So I can see that. So it looks like it gets good slope. And I'm just going to go around. I'm just going to... Oh, wait a minute. That tree disappeared. So, okay. Yeah, I like to be... So, when you're looking at Google Maps, pay attention to this part right here. August 2012. So, if I move a little bit, it's a different date. June 2023. So now this makes sense. So, wait a minute. So that was 2012. Give me a second. They took this picture in 2012. Look at the roof. Look at the roof. Okay? Now you move to 2023. This is like the same roof. So that's already 12 years. And it was already looking old before then. So let's just add, yeah. Let's say 20 years, I'm at 12 years. But that was 2012, this is 2023, 2024, so 11 years, whatever. Let's just say 12 years. Before then was already looking old. Just add 10 years, so yeah. I would say this roof is, yeah, about 20 years old. Alright, so I'm just looking around the structure. I'm looking at the siding. I'm looking to make sure that the siding is not making contact with the ground. I should see some type of clearance, and I do. Usually it's supposed to be at least 6 inches. But, oh man. I need this to... See, this is the old picture. I can't rely on this one. This is old. So, let me stay here. Oh. You feel me? Okay, get the cars, 3 cars. We gotta just go around the block. I don't know why this thing is like messing up. Sheesh. Okay, there goes your drainage. I want to see the backside. I'm looking all around to see what I see. Oh. Look at this. Look at this window. That's no good. So something is happening with that window. Looking at the backyard to see this type of junk around. I'm also looking at the vegetation around it. Is it maintained properly? Looking at the windows. The roof still looks the same. Now, I don't see any missing shingles, but you know, I'm not in the attic, so I can't see what it looks like if it's been leaking. Got a trampoline, looking at the side. Looks like a little bulge with the siding right here. So something appears loose, at least from these pictures. Okay. And I like to see how other houses are as well. This looks like a scary house. Ooh, what? For sale. Can I zoom in? Let me zoom in. Come on. I don't know why this thing is blacking out on me. This is for sale. Noel and Bruno Turquini, Fairfax Realty Elite. So this house is for sale. Okay. Let's go back to our house. Let's get this situated. Alright, so that's how the house looks like. Now, which ones are these? So there's a couple things I want to see. So when it comes to the additions and the permit, let me go back to the permit. Oh, there it goes. It's this one. Okay. So they got the edition in 2004. So this is when they put it in. So we're gonna check that. We're gonna see how it looks like. I'll bring this up. That's where you gotta Google Earth it. Let me show this for y'all. This is the house. Courtesy of Google Earth. Now, this period is 2006. Pay attention to how the house looks like. This is where we just were. This is March of 2006. See how the outline of the house looks like. Now, I'm just going to go backwards. This is 2006. They put in the permit for the addition in 2004. This is 2005. You can't really tell. This is 2002. Let me see if I can go back to a better time. Let me get better pictures. It's kind of hard to see. This is 2002, but you can kind of make out the outline. It's just a rectangle. Maybe something a little bit back here. But when you go to 2006, you can kind of tell in 2005, but 2006 is clear. You see how it looks completely different. It's a different structure, so I'm gonna go back again, see if you can catch it. So look at the structure. This is the addition right here. This wasn't here before. So before it was like a perfect rectangle. Now it's not. So this is how it looks like now. Go back to see how it's just straight. It isn't that bulge in this corner like that. Isn't that addition? So that's how you can kind of tell for any property, like what they've been doing. If they didn't have any permits, then you can kind of just confirm, okay, what have they been doing? And if you notice something like that, and they didn't pull any permits, then that's a situation. That's a situation right there. All right. So we got the permits, we checked out the permits, we see what's going on. Something really important that you want to pay attention to is your flood zone. So if there was like a heavy rain, hurricane, or whatever natural disaster that's going on, like where is your house situated? And so I'm looking at this house, the red dot is the house. And I just want to make sure it's not in the flood zone. Actually, right, yeah, at the end, so we're right here. So I'm just comparing it where the flood zone is going to be. And there's like a creek. I'm going to zoom out. Okay. AE. ZO, this is where a flood zone is. So we're not too close to it, but that's just something to keep in mind. You don't want to get a house in a flood zone. Most realtors, they're not looking this deep. They're just looking at transfer of ownership and things that specifically just relate to the property. And then they're trying to pay attention to, okay, what are the comps and maybe how do the schools look like? That's cool, whatever, but I'm focusing on, okay, if you've been living here, if you're going to live here for a nice amount of years, what can you expect? So that's what the flood zone looks like. And then we got taxes. You want to understand how much your taxes are going to be when you buy the property. So what happens a lot of times is a property is assessed at a lower value before the sign off to another owner. So at the time, let's just say the property was bought in like 2000, the property was less or whatever. It hasn't really been assessed like that. So when the property is now sold like 20 years later, the municipal body or whatever, the state, county, whatever, they want to assess it higher. So, but there's a cap, like they can't raise taxes on a property like more than 3% a year or something like that. So, but anyways, you want to kind of see, or every year, if I remember correctly. But the whole point, what I'm looking for is what is it assessed at? So this is the government. This is the total assessed value, 452. The house is selling at about 425. So what that lets me know is it's assessed properly. It's not really going to change. So when you do get into the house, it's not like you're going to have this completely jump in your tax bill. So this is the value as of January 1st, 2026. This is where it might go to. So right now it's 452, 100. That's where it's assessed at. And this is just information for the house. Talks about who's the owner, so non-arm's length. Basically, it's not a traditional homeowner, so usually it's a bank, which it is. It's owned by the bank. It doesn't say here, but it says it in the listing. Yeah, okay, yeah. Soundview Home Loan Trust, Wells Fargo Bank Trustee. So there you go. And then also you can kind of tell when it says homestead application status, no application, order. So basically what this is saying is this is for Maryland's trying to differentiate, okay, who's going to be an actual living homeowner versus an investor, because there's protections for the homeowner. So when it's saying no application, basically because it's the bank that owns it, they're not living in the property. They don't want to be landlords. They don't want to be owners. They want to get rid of the property as soon as they can. So they're not getting any tax benefit. It's costing them money, which we pay. So they're trying to get rid of it. Another thing I look at, just zoning. So because I'm always trying to figure out a way how you can get side money. So if you're owning a property, you want it to be investment, because most properties are liabilities. Robert Kiyosaki, the guy that wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad, he made an interesting statement that always stuck with me, where he's talking about how do you know you have an asset versus a liability. And he said plainly or simply, assets put money into your pocket and liabilities take it out. So if you got a house, don't think about the appreciation. That is, it's not what you think it is. Like, sure, you can have some appreciation for sure, but there's a lot to it. But simply, you're paying money every month on the mortgage, so you don't own the property yet. The bank owns it, and then at any point they can call in the loan. Technically, I know there's protections, but they can. So money is leaving your pocket. What I like to say is, okay, is there a way you can rent something out or do some type of improvement or whatever? Now, not everyone wants to do it, but I look at, okay, how much land do you actually have, and can you do something with it? So for this property, because it's a corner lot, maybe you could put in a ADU, so accessory dwelling unit, something where you can have there's no basement, so you can put a basement apartment. But maybe if you want to in the future create like a in-law suite, or not a suite, but like one of those structures behind in the backyard or something like that. Is it possible? So I like to look at just what the zonings are, and you don't have to understand this fully, but basically RSF, single family, 95, that basically just means residential use. You can't, it's not for apartments where you have multifamily and stuff like that. So that's what I try to pay attention to. Another thing that I try to pay attention to is just what's going on in the area around it. So I think for this area, it is close to transportation, the Purple Line, and then also South Lake is creating like multi-mix real estate over there. So property values has a good chance of increasing once that development is in full swing. Hold on, let me do this. Give me a second. What are South Lake. South Lake Development, Bowie. In the 600s to 900s, I know they was doing some mixed-use restaurants, commercial, residential. I think there was like an article. I was trying to look for it. Okay. South Lake. Okay. South Lake Marketplace is poised to be Bowie's new destination retail. Okay, so this is what they got going on. Anyways, you're close by it where it has the potential to increase the value of your home. So when you're looking at these different properties, you want to understand, okay, what's going on in the future? Like, how do the politics look like? So, politics affect your cost of living. And then you're also looking at, okay, what's going to add to the value of my home? What's going to take away from the value of my home? So, sure, you got this mixed use real estate development going on. The negative side of it is it can add more traffic to it, traffic to your situation or to your area. So that's one. At the same time, it can increase the value of the property. So anyways, I'm going to end it here. This is what we got going on for this property. If you're in the market to buy and do something, hey, this might be a property for you. When I do these listings and I evaluate them, I'm not trying to My job is just to give you information so that you can make the best decision that's right for you, and also to think about things you didn't think about before. So say you might like the house a lot, but the hidden debt that you're going to incur, like you're going to have to upgrade a lot of stuff. Like one thing I didn't really talk about, but I do it in my reports when I do this. When I do the service, is I try to look at, okay, what are the cost estimates? So that roof, actually, let me just do it real quick. Since that roof was looking old, what's the replacement cost for a roof? Actually, it's about 2,200 square feet house. So usually the roof, since it's just one level, it's about the size of the square footage, a little bit bigger. So I'm gonna just say 2,700 square feet for the roof. In a range. Okay, so to replace it, you got looking at a range of about 13,000 to 20,000, which seems about right for that size house. That includes just full gut. Now, depending on the quality of the material, the contractor that you're using, it's just going to depend. So, anyways, this is all that this is the service that I provide. One of the service I provide. So I don't just do property inspections. It's also looking at the listings. What does it cost after you send them the check? And now you got the house keys. What now? What should you focus on? These are the type of questions where you might feel alone on your own. The realtor doesn't really help like that. They got their commission, and they're kind of like, hey, good luck. Or I mean, sometimes they can be cool and try to check in, but if you're looking for that guidance, you want to understand what you want to do, and you're in DMV, go to my website, get the service. I'm gonna help you out. Even after you make the sale, continue to contact me. I like helping people understand what their investment is and how they can maintain it, because most people don't. I remember when I first got my property, I knew a little bit at the time. I wasn't an inspector then. I knew a little bit, but then over time it's just like, oh, I didn't see this. Well, my inspector didn't catch this. They didn't catch that. Oh, I didn't know about this. I didn't know about that. Taxes, all this other, is just so much. So that's what I do. That's what I provide. So if you're interested, then definitely go ahead, click on the link. Even if you're not in the DMV, I can't physically inspect your property, but I can look at the listings for you. So appreciate it. And I'm gonna end it here, and I'll see you in the next video.